Hi, this is Atticus, and welcome to Railroad Corporation 2 Early Access. We're playing the campaign mission called North Subjugation. We're on Chapter 2, and this is Part 3 of our playthrough of Chapter 2. So, to get all that, there will be a quiz at the end of the video. So, we have set up a fairly nice little structure, I think. We started over here way back when. We're moving up this way, slowly bringing in these small towns and slowly moving wood and grain and coal we're getting from a port here in Thunder Bay out to all these cities to help them grow and making some money off of our trains. And we have extended our line with a single track that runs down here so that we could get down to Duluth. And we've set up a 3-city cluster here in Duluth: Grand Rapids, Duluth, and Ashland. And that cluster is really pretty strong because we've got, and this is like the sweetheart thing you'd like to look for on your maps, we have grain in Ashland, we have coal in Duluth because there's a port there where we can import coal, and we have logging in Grand Rapids. So that gives us the 3 main ingredients for fuel early city growth. Also the 3 main ingredients for building up your industry structures to really make good money. And so we want to keep those growing, and we want to keep pumping in there. And we'd love to see some industry slots opening up so that we could, for example, put a sawmill in Grand Rapids and make lumber. We could sell it directly to Grand Rapids, then we could start hauling it down and exporting it in Duluth, and Duluth probably needs it. Yeah, Duluth, even the city needs it, and the warehouse. We would have a ton of need for lumber, and I mean, even to the point where it'd almost be worth buying this paper mill, knocking it down so we'd have that industry slot to put in the sawmill. I mean, we would quickly recoup the money. We would have to run, if we did that, we would have to run a lot of trains from Grand Rapids to Duluth to keep that sawmill running at any kind of high rate to really make some big bucks. The better solution, of course, would be to have an industry slot in Grand Rapids and feed the wood directly so that then we don't need those trains hauling the wood, and then we could just haul the lumber to where we want, including, just selling it directly in Grand Rapids, as I said earlier. All right, so the other thing we've done is I goofed up. I was thinking I had an industry slot, and I was planning on hauling clay from St. Cloud up to Duluth, where we already have coal. Coal and clay makes pottery. Pottery is required in Duluth, and if we look at our demand for pottery, actually, Duluth and Grand Rapids would both like the pottery. They also would like pottery down here in St. Paul. I will tell you one other thing. I've played around offline and other, as I was learning the game with the track building. And this track building is so much less of a pain than the original game. But it's not there yet. They've still got some work to do. So one of the things is, if you were to build like, I could just show you and reload about it. I kind of don't want to. If we were at a station in St. Paul and we went from St. Paul to St. Cloud, this is the one I actually played with offline. It's going to make a huge bridge in all likelihood across this, and very, very expensive track. But on the other hand, it's going to be level track running there, and your trains are going to perform beautifully. It costs a fortune. If we want to change it, that does have a functionality where I can hit the plus and minus numpad keys and raise or lower the track by 1 setting. So it has a kind of 3 settings: standard, normal, 1 up, and then back down to normal, and 1 down. So you can move between those 3 settings and kind of level off your track to the point where you're not building as many bridges. However, when you level it off, you still have to come back up to normal to get to your stations. And the way it's implemented right now, that it's not done. It cannot be done. It doesn't work properly. It actually causes you can't run your parallel track on the part where it's rising or dropping, and that just makes it all very clumsy to build. It builds some slightly ugly track, and in fact, you get some defects. You can get some defects with the track building symbols staying on the screen, stuff like that. I've had all kinds of little things like that. So we're going to ignore that. Anytime we build track, we're just going to drag it out, pay the piper for the bridges that we have to have. And, you know, if we build a lot of bridges, so be it. It'll cost us a lot of money. We don't care. All right, so let's just keep this going. Now, I think we did set up those 2 running tools to Rat Portage. Okay, we do. Okay, we've got that going, right? Now, I'm going to leave this going, and the reason being that in Rat Portage, now this is strange, but Rat Portage needs the tools. Now, why in the world would a small town like that need tools? The interesting thing is, I think, and I don't even remember if I saw this or if I just flipped through it too quickly or not. Actually, I think it was in the write-up where it said to connect to Rat Portage, you know, the out here. There was a thing that said that Rat Portage actually supports a bunch of gold mines around it, and the gold miners need the tools. So we can't do anything with the gold, but we can supply the tools, and the tools are worth 84 grand a pop. And we get them here in this local warehouse. Now it says it costs 70 grand. They actually don't cost anything, right? Because they're coming out of a warehouse. We're not paying for them. We're similar to, you know, getting passengers out of a city hall. You don't actually buy the passengers. There's slavery here. You just haul passengers. So I think we can get these for free and haul them off there and make a bunch of money on them. So I think those the 2 trains we've got going, I think what I'd like to do is go down here and make sure we've named them. Did we name them? Yeah, let's name them. THU Tools to Rat. I think this is one way that they kind of give you to make some big bucks. So we're going to have that thing going, and then we're going to go to the next train and do the same thing and call it THU Tools to Rat. Sorry, I'm fighting my voice just a little bit right now. All right, and let's run a couple more. Let's copy that and copy that. Okay. Now let's look at our research and see where we are. We are still working on the Mason Bogie, and 36 days we'll have the Mason Bogie event, and we'll start using it when it comes out, because just out of the box without any improvements, it's a much better train than what we're running now. All right, so let's speed this puppy up. And I would like to connect your income. Oh, and let's look at this for a moment. Tara commented on the taxes. It's actually telling us we had tax of $202,000 in Q3, and so far our tax bill is $376,000. Right? So we've just passed Q3 at 376. So we're going to add another 200,000 or 300,000. So our tax bill at the end is going to be about 700 grand that we're going to need in order to pay our taxes. So we're going to have to watch that and make sure that we have the money available to pay the taxes. I wish it gave you a warning like December 1st, hey, you got 1 month to pay your tax bill or something like that. Because the way it works is it gives you a quarterly estimate of what's coming, and then an cumulative for the year, but then it charges you for the taxes at year's end. So, see, payment of accumulated taxes for all quarters is made on the first day of the next year. And this is the one way to go broke. It's one of the best ways to go broke, is to just forget about that and end up, having $1 million tax bill and having $20,000 in the bank because you just built a big expensive track with a bunch of expensive bridges on it because you were so frustrated by the track building tool, and you go broke. So we don't want that. So anyway, let's move on. Let's keep this thing running. I'm accumulating some money. Why am I doing this? Well, because I want direction up here. I want them to tell me where to go next. And down here, there isn't much we can do except keep this growing. So let's just make sure we're getting. Oh, Ashland wants passengers. Do we have any? Ashland wants passengers. Duluth has passengers, and Grand Rapids has passengers. I think we have a train, but I think I'd like to have it go like to all 3 What are you? This looks like the train because it's suspicious how many people. Or yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is. I think we're going to change this one and have it run Duluth, Grand Rapids, Ashland. We'll run them full at each one, and they should run pretty well like it. So you go to Duluth, you'll drop off people at Grand Rapids. You go to Grand Rapids all the way to Ashland, then pick up people, drop them off at Grand Rapids at Duluth rather. You'll loop back to Duluth. That'll work. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's go like that. Oh, and I should have named it. Sorry. This should be. I'm just going to call this one Passengers. GRDULASH. All right. So our 3-city cluster of passenger train. And when we get mail, we'll want to run mail for city growth. Not so much for money. It's interesting. Money's not the thing, but for city growth, we want the mail coming in. All right. We got a fair amount. Could we? This bridge, I just happen to know it's going to cost us a couple million just to bridge over there, let alone the industry. So we're going to need a lot more money than that. Okay, Little England now demands wood. That's a good thing. So let's go to Little England, right here, and let's take this guy and say let's sell in the town. Check both storages. What we're going to do is say if we have anything and you have less than 5, we're going to sell it to the city first. So we're going to make sure that the city gets its goods, and then it's going to go to the rest of the world. But we've got quite a bit here. We could go out and do the math and see how if we will need to upgrade this, but I think we'll just watch this and make sure there's stock here for our trains. So let's make sure we're growing these cities. That one looks okay. Maybe could use a little more grain. This one could use both. Look at this. We've finished our project for the Mason Bogie. So now we want to get into research hot and heavy. We want to knock these things off as fast as we can. Max speed. 3 scientists. We happen to have 3 scientists. So 1, 2, 3. Start. Service life. Are there any applicants? Good. We'll hire somebody and you can go. There's 2 applicants left, so let's do a double. So maximum attractive effort would be 1 and 2. And you see we're at 10 of 16, so we've got room for 6 more scientists right now. We can expand that later. Okay, Uppsala wants passengers. Let's look at what that means for our Thunder Bay kind of area. Passengers, Thunder Bay supplies them, Uppsala wants them and supplies them. Okay, but now they're telling us, we've delivered this. That's why our money's probably flying through the roof now. We're making big bucks bringing tools out here to this gold. So now they want us to build a railroad station in Winnipeg. So let's just do that. Let's just go Winnipeg, build a station. Put it like maybe like that. Okay. We'll do our usual repair shop and track. And then what's it tell us to do? Transport passengers from Thunder Bay and build a liquor store in Winnipeg. All right, now how do you build a liquor store? Well, what you do is you look for social land. We used one social land here to put in School of Finance. I think I mentioned way back when that I knew something else was coming, so I didn't want to use both of these. But we take social land, we buy the social land, and we go down here, and now each of these things have different purposes. Like a representative office helps you get some cheaper stuff with your track and stuff, with your station and all that. A bank actually can make you some money. We can show you how to do that, but we don't really have enough slots. Churches make the cities grow faster. They're great. Dormitories for more office space for your people. But you can but these down here are great because you can stimulate the consumption of certain things. like a shop with a bakery will make that city want flour and bread, even if it didn't want it before. You put a shop with a bakery, now all the people in Winnipeg want to buy flour and bread. And the mechanic they use to kind of pay you, your shop doesn't actually sell anything, but it becomes a desire of the city hall. And the city hall is really just representing the folks who live here and their purchases, right? And people want to come here, they want fish, they want wood, they want grain, they want coal like any other citizens would, and you could add like a shop with bakery, and now they would want flour and they would want bread. So what we're going to do is do that same trick. And notice bookstore for books, hardware for tools, home goods for pottery. We're going to go to liquor store right here. That's what they ask us to build. So we're going to construct a liquor store. Now notice that Winnipeg City Hall now demands whiskey, right? So we've created the demand for whiskey, which if we look at our map, didn't exist anywhere on the map, I don't believe. No, see, nobody wants whiskey right now, except the one we just created, because we built a little liquor store. That liquor store needs supplies. They need goods to sell. So we have to, now they want us to deliver whiskey to Winnipeg, 18 wagons of whiskey, and they want us to build a whiskey distillery. So again, if we look at the whiskey, it's demanded here and not created anywhere, right? So we need to set up whiskey. Now, you don't know this in advance, but I can tell you, whiskey needs two things. It needs glass. Sorry, my voice is starting to win the struggle. Okay. All right. So whiskey needs glass and it needs grain. So it combines the glass and grain to give you bottles of whiskey. So to make the glass, we need quartz and coal. So you set up a glass factory, you feed it coal to heat up the furnaces and quartz to make the glass out of, and it makes glass. And and we already said we need a whiskey distillery. So we need two industries. This is not, just building this is worthless without the glass. If we look here, if we look for glass, see, glass doesn't even show up on here anywhere. We do have the quartz. And there's only one location for quartz on the whole map, and that's up here in this little town of Beausejour, I guess. So Beausejour has the Quartz Quarry, so we know we're going to want that. So I think what we'll do is connect. We want to kind of use, as I said before, I don't want a bunch of intersections here. I think, didn't we build one down here? We did build one here, and we can build more, but I kind of don't like them. It kind of really turned off. So let's go to Beausejour. Let's put in a station there. Okay, and let's do our usual repairs and add a track. And then we'll go to Rat Portage, and we will connect. We're working our way to Winnipeg, but we're going to go through Beausejour since we know we need it for the glass, right? And here's where I'm talking about. If I chose to, I could go like drag this out to here, go down one, avoid that bridge, run for a while, and then go back up to get on the same level as this. But the problem is when you try to then build the other track going the other way, it gets to be really funky, and I don't want to deal with it. I'd rather spend the money because we're making lots of money. So we will build that with a nice fast stone bridge. Now we've got this beautiful level track where the trains can just go at whatever speed they feel like going all the way. So we're going to double track this all the way back to Rat Portage. Confirm, and we'll give it signals. And I will make my obligatory plea for a switch or a combination of keys or whatever it takes to allow me to build switches all the way along a section of track with one stroke, not 25 like I'm doing here. One thing, it's so easy to mess it up. Okay. And there's the other thing I can't stand. It just it put two of these down. I didn't even want them. Okay. There. Okay, that's not the most fascinating few moments of my life I've ever spent right there. All right, so we've connected to Bogie. Now let's go ahead and connect on out to Winnipeg. And we can go to Winnipeg because we want to start hauling those passengers. Again, we're going to have a big bridge. Now, of course, we would have a bridge over the river. We would expect that, so that's okay. And let's get this thing going back. I would like to suggest that they set up a way that you can define, like instead of having to pick this every time, it'd be nice if I could say, well, I'm going to do stone bridges, right? And then then you could leave this as if I wanted to, in this particular case, have a wooden bridge or a steel bridge, that's fine. But I'd like to be able to say default, I want stone bridges, right? And then that way I don't have to mess with it. So I know I'm going to build stone bridges, I'm good. All right, so now we got our double track to Winnipeg. Let's go in and put in some give it switches. All right, now we're connected to Winnipeg. They want us to transport 25 passengers. And I think, didn't we get the Mason Bogie at this point? We did. All right, let's grab the Mason Bogie because it's faster and it hauls more. We really should consider replacing all of our trains. Can't say I'm in any rush to do that, but I mean, we could do it. It wouldn't be impossible. Let's do this. Let's just go Mason Bogie. We're going to set this as, and I noticed that Winnipeg supplies fur, right? Because it is supporting a bunch of local fur trappers, and they bring their stuff there. So we should be able to get fur there to bring back to Thunder Bay. So let's go with this will be Thunder Bay passengers to Winnipeg. And Winnipeg doesn't have any passengers, but we can bring back fur that we can sell at the port. And our route can be Thunder Bay passengers to stop. Hi, Pook. I'll be with you in a minute. Thunder Bay passengers to Winnipeg. Drop them off. Pick up these guys. Oh, and I wanted to note that a couple of you, DHXL and ATIABI 8409, two unpronounceable names, both commented that you don't need the control. It's just Alt and left mouse button to do this little trick with the load as much as you can. However, they also pointed out there seems to be a bug in it where it doesn't adapt. So if I've got, like here's a good example. We've got our Mason Bogie. We haven't upgraded it yet. It won't, as we upgrade, it won't adapt to the larger cargo mass and to haul a bigger load. And it should. That's the whole point of doing this little trick versus just clicking the button however many times, right? So that needs to be fixed. But anyway, I'm going to hit Alt and left click here. There we go. To load in the warehouse. So now we've got passengers going out, fur coming back, and and I meant to make in Winnipeg, I want to make this optional. We'll take that hourglass off and say you don't have to wait until completed. So you just load however many happens to be there at that point in time and head back, right? So because our main purpose here is to haul the passengers, not hauling the fur. The fur is just a bonus coming back to make the trip worthwhile. So that's one. Let's save that. And let's run a bunch of these. Let's run 2, 3, 4. God, it feels like I'm getting 5, 6. There we go. Sorry. It seemed like I was getting lag, but it wasn't. It was just the way my mouse was situated on the desk here. All right, so we've got passengers headed out here. Now our whiskey deal. What we want to do with the whiskey, all right, we've set this up so we can go from Beausejour to with the quartz, but where are we going to take it? It has to go to a glass factory. So let's look at where we have industry land. All right. Now there's a couple. We've got some options here. One would be to go down here, this little town of Grafton. It was probably put here for that purpose, so that we could run quartz and coal here and do glass, or we could put our whiskey here and run our glass that we create somewhere else. There's also this little town of Graceville down here that happens to have fishing as well, with an industry slot. Or we can go to St. Paul, which has 2 industry slots, and we need 2 industries. So I think what I would prefer doing, I mean, you can go either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, just pick the one you like. I think I'd like to do the St. Paul one, so I'm going to let this keep running because we're going to need a bunch of money. Now it's November. Is there a way to know what our tax bill is? How would you know? Well, here. Tax payable is $376. So it's going to be probably, I would say it would probably project year-to-date $376. It's probably going to project to like 500 or so, 500,000. So we should be fine. Let's go. We finished some more research. Let's go here and keep that going. Max speed, assign scientist, 1, 2, and any applicants? Yeah, 3. So you go. Then we got repairability with a couple, assign scientist, 1, 2, go. And I don't think there are any more applicants. Unfortunately, I have to go all the way out and go to staff to see again. Are there applicants for science? No. Who are those guys? Oh, the finance. So yeah, we never did do finance. Cost of grain, we don't care. Selling paper's good, but we're not doing paper yet. Selling flour's good, we're not doing flour. Cost of quartz, we don't care. We're going to buy that quartz, I can promise you. Cost of iron ore, we don't care. So the finance department is pretty useless right now, and I don't think the bonds and loans have been implemented yet, and, you know, we don't need money. Of course, we don't need money. All right. Well, of course we do, but we don't. All right, so let's go to research. I just saw another research finished. We've got a 2 here. These guys assign, and go. So we're just going to totally upgrade the Bogie, and we're going to work out here to make sure we do everything we can to get ready for the 10-wheeler. All right. Now I am going to pause again because what I want to do now is we want to hook up. We need a lot of track now because what we want to do is be able to go all the way to St. Paul. So why don't we do that in first? Let's go station in St. Paul. Okay. What? We could put a tough call. All right. I'm just going to do it. We could have put a representative office here and made this cheaper, but we got the money and there are other things I want to do, maybe even with that social land right there. So repair shop, add a new facility. Now, do we want a train depot down here? Yeah, we do. All right, let's add another train depot so we can get trains out of here. Now, did we do 2 tracks? We didn't. Let's do at least 2 tracks. Now, let's connect St. Paul to St. Cloud. And I think I talked, now I don't remember if I talked about, I think I talked about this. We're better off, yeah, I did. We're better off just biting the bullet and building that giant bridge. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculously expensive, but we got flat, fast track, and I don't have to fool with the track building, which, by the way, needs help. It's not there yet. When you start changing levels when you're track, I honestly, I don't know if I talked about this or not, but when you start, I'll just say briefly, if it's redundant, forgive me, but when you change levels of track, what you can do and avoid some of the big bridge, like here we could avoid some of this bridge by, lowering the track after we came over the river and going down to the level where we wouldn't need a bridge further. But when you do that, it gets really clumsy to get back up to the height that you want to be, and it has some opportunity improvements in it as well. So we're going to avoid that for now, and we'll just build super expensive track, which is really nice when you have it because you got all that nice flat fast track. All right, so we got St. Paul. Now, what does St. Paul add to the thing here? We've got all these passengers, and St. Paul probably is, it's big enough to have passengers, a fair amount of them. I suppose we could run passengers to all the places. We could run mail. What is mail? Mail is here and here. I'll tell you what, let's forget all that. Let's just focus on the other track we need. We need to now connect Winnipeg down to St. Paul. Because what we're going to do, if you haven't figured it out, is we're going to St. Paul and put in glass and whiskey and then haul it. So let's go like this. Let's go up here and then, up to Rat Portage. Now I'm going to stop that. I want to go to Rat Portage first. We're going to expand this station. If I can get out of track building mode, here we go. Add track, add track. Then we're going to go from Rat Portage. From that left side, we're going to go drag all the way down here to Grand Rapids and hook into our system down here. If I can get it to do it. Here we go. Let's see how that looks. Put in a better bridge, better bridge, better bridge. Confirm. I better let it run. Give us some more money. Oh, look at the date. Look at the date. Glad I didn't do any more. Could have gotten fired right there. Let's see what happens when we pay our taxes. I hope we have enough. We do, but barely. Barely had enough. Wow. Cool. All right. Glad I noticed. I wish they'd give you a warning, like it's December 1st. Are you ready for your taxes kind of thing? All right. I wish also they would tell me how many of the unassigned research scientists I have right now, because I know one finished, but I don't know how many people were on it because it won't let you go back and see how many people were working on it. I don't even know if it's that one, but I think it was. Might have been that one. But let's go to rated power and see how many we got. We got 3, so assign and assign. Oh, we have to have a level 2. We have to have a 2 and a 1 for this. Okay. And our 2s are all working. Do we have any applicants? We have a level 3 applicant, which we can't hire, but we certainly can if we upgrade our department. But we need a bigger office in order to be able to do that. So we'll go back again and we'll go to the office and we'll upgrade our office to level 3. All right. And broke again. Stop spending money, Attican. Just settle down, settle down. All right, Duluth needs mail. We know we can run. All right, there's one we know we can do. We can do. We'll just do this just to be doing it. Okay, now I've got to be careful. I want to buy it at St. Paul. At St. Paul, we're going to buy a Mason Bogie. We're going to go STP mail Duluth. And we're going to go St. Paul, load and unload mail, and Duluth, load and unload mail, go. All right, and then what were we doing? Oh yeah, we wanted to. I'll let this run while we do this to get some more money, but we're going to go in here and go to rated power, assign scientists. Well, now these guys have come off. They're available, so we need a 2 and a 1 to do that. So you guys team up and do that. Let's go over here to pulling mass. We need 2 level 1s. Assign and go. And fuel conversion efficiency, we need 2 level 1s. Assign the applicants, we do. We'll take him. Hire and assign, go. We need, what else can we do? We can do reliability. We need a level 1 for that. There aren't really any. I'm going to hire this guy. No. That's what we were doing. We were going to upgrade. I'm going to assign this guy to do that. I'm going to go back. Oh, 851. We got tons of money. Let's go upgrade our department again. So we can hire that level 3. Just to have another body. That's the only reason we're doing it. Reliability. That's locked. Locked. Here's one we can do. Service life. A level 1. We'll take you. And then we upgraded to hire that guy, and then I didn't hire him. Don't really have anything I want him to do right this minute, so we'll come back to him. And see, we have plenty of space. We can get all the scientists we want. So we want to just knock that out and get these trains fully upgraded as fast as we can. And also because we want them done before we finish our mission. So we see Grand Rapids wants glass. That's kind of nice. I'm going to pause this and go like this and double track this. And be thankful that I didn't do anything with the elevation changes, because that makes this so much easier, even though we have these big old bridges running down through here. Before I confirm, I want to go back and find my bridges and set them to stone so they're faster. 922, we can do that. Okay. And I'll let it run while I put in signals. Sorry. The animal grunt was just because it's so frustrating. One, that I have to do this at all, and then that I have to do it like this. That you know, it's so easy to goof it up. All right. Research. Something finished. Here, it gave us one over here. I'm going to hire this guy before he gets away from us. We'll hire him and starting. And he actually causes research to be higher cost. Great. Doesn't matter. I want the bodies. Okay. Back to one-way track. Man, the money racks up so fast. I've got to stop it because I just don't want it to get away from me. And of course I'm... Sorry. By now, I hope you understand those grunts are, you know what's happening. I'm frustrated by having to do this, and two, when I do it, if I make a mistake and get one pointing the wrong way, then I got to fix it. And when I fix it, I go in there and tell it to reverse, and I'll end up making another. If I happen to be over top of this, I end up making another signal, which also is wrong. That needs to be fixed. But anyway, so let's signal / semaphore as we go up through here. Backwards, okay. This is a long track. It needs a lot of signals. And I would fast forward through this and just, that'd make a bit better video, but I want you to have the same pain I have. If I have to do this, then you have to watch it. Boom. Deep breaths and Om. Okay, we're getting close. Right. And now keep in mind, remember, if I have a train come running through here and it needs to keep going to the west, it'll come in on these two and just magically scoot over to these two coming out of that station. So this is perfectly good. This is a connection that goes all the way through. All right. So next episode, we will set up our industries in St. Paul to get that task done. We'll keep working on our research, and we should be able to knock this one off in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it'll help you become a better player. I hope you'll like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join us for our next Railroad Corporation 2 video. Thank you.